Hello everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome to my Q&A. Now before we begin, I just want to establish that yes, at points in this Q&A I will be discussing things like mental health, so I just thought I'd throw in that early trigger warning right there. So anyway, without further ado then, let's get on with it. A load of you have asked some questions, and a lot of them are actually really good questions, I'm not going to lie. I'm actually really impressed with the level of questions that have been asked here. So, we're going to get into this, but feel free to ignore the gameplay in the background. That's just there purely as a background thing, so that I can run this Q&A. First question is from Zach Mayer, who asks, "Can I ask a question?" You can if you believe you can, Zach. I realise that's not one of the more insightful questions contained in this Q&A, but we'll move on. Next up is Let's Unwind ASMR, shout out to your YouTube channel, who asks, "Would you rather, like more than you do now, Panic at the Disco or eat shit?" I think we found the Panic at the Disco fangirl, everybody. I probably wouldn't want to eat shit, to be honest. I probably just wouldn't want to do that, so I guess I'd go with liking Panic at the Disco more. I mean, I'm going to be honest, they're not a band I listen to every day, but some of their stuff is decent. Anyway, question number 3. Stroz asks, "Who is that sexy Swiss in your videos?" You know who it is, Stroz. But he also asks, "Will What Would Joe Do ever return?" I'm going to say never. Like, there are no immediate plans to bring it back. There are no immediate intentions, but as right now, I have no desire or want to bring it back, as it were. But like I said, never say never. Maybe one day I'll think to myself, actually, you know what I fancy doing? Just purely on impulse, Never say never. Question number 4 is from Derek Baird. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he asks, "How ya doing?" How you doing? Bit of a Friends reference there. Passion for Life asks the next question, and they want to know, what's your target sub count? 69,420. Or, in short, 69,420. Yeah, I'm so mature. I'm in my 30s, but I still think that's funny. Now, that would be a great sub count to get, to be honest. But failing that, if I was to go for a more serious sub count, I'd probably say, I don't know, maybe 100,000 tops. If I could achieve that, then I would be beyond happy. Luann Heighton asks, "What are 5 unpopular opinions you have?" Oh boy, you really wanted to stir the pot with this one. Right, where am I going to start? Well, first up, Five Finger Death Punch are the most overrated band on the planet. I'm sorry, they are. Again, just my opinion. Don't everyone angrily caps lock me in the comments. This is just one guy's opinion. Don't come at me. Secondly, Batman v Superman wasn't even that bad. I don't think it was. I actually thought it was quite good. Especially if you watch the extended version. It makes a bit more sense and doesn't feel quite as rushed as the theatrical version. Third opinion that I have, this one will really go down like a lead balloon. Misery Business is the most overrated song in existence. I'm sorry, but Paramore have, in my opinion at least, many better songs than Misery Business, okay? It's not one of their best. I'm sorry. It just isn't. The fourth, I have never watched more than one episode of Game of Thrones, and I do not desire to. I mean, I watched one episode of it, and within that episode, some guy was bonking his sister and then shoving a kid out a window. And I was just like, okay, I think I've seen enough here. I just could not get into it at all. It just did nothing for me. So I ended up just ignoring the hype on that one. And given how people say it badly it ended, I'm quite happy that I did ignore the hype. And the final one, I don't like Pokemon. And that's another one that's going to go down like a lead balloon. But when the Pokemon hype was a thing back in the 90s when I was growing up, it just went straight over my head. Like, I never understood the hype, and I never will. But you know what? If other people like it, that's what they're into. Good for them. I'm not going to shit on something just because I'm not into it. It's just, again, these are my opinions, and for me, the unpopular opinions I have, that's just how I see it. Like I said, I'm not going to shit on anyone having a different opinion. We're all allowed one. I'm just expressing the 5 unpopular ones that I have. So don't angrily caps lock me in the comments and take what I've said as gospel, okay? Because it ain't. It's just one guy's opinion. Mr. Radiation wants to know, what would Joe do if someone stole his gold tack? Oh boy. That's an old school Fortnite reference if I ever heard one. I'm not going to provide an answer for that one, because that joke, although funny at the time, it's one that I ended up taking backlash for when I made a joke about it in a future video. So, in respects of trying to avoid drama and backlash on the channel, which I already get a ton of, and I'm not even sure what for half the time, I'm going to decline to provide an answer for that one. Jack Godman asks, do you prefer playing with me, Bonk, Stroz, or by yourself? I don't really have a preference as to who I play and make content with, because I think everybody that does appear on this channel and everybody that I make content with and that features on the channel brings something different to it. Like, it's like you all bring something different to the table, and in the best possible way. So I'm not going to say that I have a favourite person to play or make content with, because I think you all bring your own unique touches to the channel, and I think that in itself is awesome. So I'm not going to say I have a favourite there. Champions of Christ wants to know, inspirations for YouTube. Have you ever heard of Jeff Dunham, and do you watch wrestling? Okay, I'm going to come back to the inspirations for YouTube later, because someone else asked for that one. But have I heard of Jeff Dunham? Yes, I have. I think he's absolutely hilarious. I think his Ahmed the Dead Terrorists, I guess you'd call them a sketch, but the sketches he does with Ahmed are hilarious, and I actually don't watch wrestling. Again, it's another hype that's just sort of passed me by, and I've never really got into it, so, you know, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. Again, cool if you enjoy it. I think it's cool that other people enjoy it and that it's got as popular as it has, but for me, you know, it's not my thing. Phil Critical Kit wants to know, you've been doing YouTube a while and not had any substantial growth. Does that ever bother you? I'm not really going to say it does, to be honest, because I do have my small following on here, and while I do aim to increase that following over time, and that's always been a sort of little hope of mine, my reason for doing YouTube is very much because I enjoy making the content I make, and the small amount of people that do enjoy it, they also enjoy the content I make. That's it, you know. I make content for me and for the people that do enjoy it. That's not to say that I wouldn't be happy if my growing did substantially increase, because I would be. But for now, I'm quite happy with where things are going, and if things do get better over time, or if my growth does get bigger, then fantastic. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's the end of the world if it doesn't. Bonk Godman asks, being autistic, how do you manage to cope with an overwhelming number of comments? And Benji Edwards also asks, as a YouTuber on the autistic spectrum, does it make it harder for you to interact/engage with your audience? Now, I'm going to fully address this because this is not something that I've ever fully or properly discussed on a video before. I've made, like, references to it, I've made jokes about it, but yes, I am on the autistic spectrum. I have a mild form of the condition. I also have ADHD, so what that basically means is that I see and think things a little differently to how someone without the condition would do. Any further knowledge on it, you know, I'm not really the best to give you that because I wouldn't know how to word it. But I'm just saying this now so that anybody who does watch knows. It's for the benefit of the viewers to mention that. Anyway, so first question of that is, how do you manage to cope with an overwhelming number of comments? I mean, I find it hard to reply back to people on a day-to-day basis. Like, half the time, you know, I'll look at a message, see I've got a message, and I'll think, I'll reply to that later. You know, I'm not really in a sociable mood at the moment. And then I'll end up forgetting that it's there, and then I'll feel rude for not answering. It's the same with YouTube comments. But I do read all your comments, and I really appreciate all the comments. But sometimes I find it hard to reply because I find the idea of socialising difficult, and I find it hard to figure out how to word my replies. So sometimes if my replies do take a while, that's why. It's really nothing personal, and I apologise, you know, if it is upsetting to anyone that it takes a while for my reply. But I will always read the comments, and I'll always acknowledge the comments, and I appreciate everybody that does. And as a YouTuber on the autistic spectrum, does it make it harder for you to interact and engage with your audience? It does and it doesn't, you know. Like I said, if I'm having a day where I feel like socialising is easier, you know, if anything, I find it relatively easy to interact and engage with my audience, especially if I'm live streaming, because when I'm live streaming, obviously the comments come up on my screen on my phone, and I can read them pretty easily because my main focus isn't the comments themselves, it's the game I'm trying to stream. So when I'm socialising there, it's like a second nature, because that's the way I know how to do it, through live streaming. But obviously if I'm having like a day where I'm not so feeling sociable, and those days do happen quite often, it does become quite hard to engage with the audience because of, like I said, the symptoms of the condition that I have. But yeah, thank you both for those questions. I thought they were really good questions, and I really thought it'd be a good idea to address them in this form. Will, who looks like your keyboard just got jammed on L, asks, why do you make content on games you know you're really bad at? Nobody's ever going to take you seriously. I don't want people to take me too seriously, that's the point. I'm not making content because I'm necessarily an esports level gamer at the games I'm playing. I make content on games because I enjoy playing the games, I enjoy playing through the games, and I hope other people enjoy watching me play through the games with the commentary that I offer. I don't do it as a serious, oh yeah, look at me, I'm so good at this, I'm going to show off my mad skills, bro. It's more of a, I'm playing this game, if you want to join me on this journey, go ahead. I'm going to throw my commentary and give you guys my experience as I go along. It might entertain you, it might make you laugh, and I hope it does entertain you and make you laugh, but I'm not doing it as like an over-serious, I'm really good at this. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. And I didn't realise that in order to release gameplay content, you had to be at a certain level to do it. You know, I didn't realise there was a certain level that you had to be on any given game to release content on it. So I find that question a little bit condescending. And I know I said for this, like, I wasn't going to answer anything that was necessarily hateful, but because that's something that keeps coming up with people, like they keep saying this to me, like, oh, you're so bad at this game, why do you bother? You know, I felt like I wanted to address everybody who says that as one and say, well, I know I'm not the best at these games. I don't pretend to be. I just do it because I enjoy it. I release the content I do because I enjoy it. And at the end of the day, the likes ratio and the comments ratio of people that are commenting lovely things would also suggest that there are quite a few people that enjoy the content I make. So, at the end of the day, if you're just giving me hate, I don't owe you an answer. I don't owe you an explanation as to why I play the games, even if I am, as you call it, bad at the game. I'm not the best player at it, but I have a lot of fun doing it. And that's why. And if that's something you have a problem with, don't watch. Because at the end of the day, that's more of a you problem than a me problem. Brian Sims wants to know, what's your opinion regarding COVID, and do you think we should go back into another lockdown? I'm not really going to go into my opinions of COVID, because at the end of the day, it's something that I think people are sick of hearing about by now, and I don't mean any disrespect to you, but it's not... Again, it's something that could cause drama in the comments, and I'm not all about that. But I'm just going to quickly say, do I think we should go into another lockdown? Unless there's reasonable cause for lockdown, no, I don't think we should. Our Godzilla asks, what do you... Oh, my phone went out at that moment. Our Godzilla asks, I can't even say his name. Our Godzilla asks, what do you aim to achieve with your YouTube channel? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What motivates you to make content? Do you have any inspirations that made you become a YouTuber? And what are your interests outside of YouTube? Oh, bloody hell, you cheeky fucker. That's a lot of questions. Right, let's go through this then. What do you aim to achieve with your YouTube content? Just having people that, you know, enjoy watching it, I guess. Like, just people that enjoy watching it and chat to me while I live stream and enjoy what I'm doing. And as long as I continue to enjoy making content, you know, that's always gonna be the goal. Where do I see myself in 10 years? With any luck, married to Sniper Wolf. Okay, I'm gonna answer that one a bit more seriously now. I don't know, like, the future's never written, so you never know. I'd like to think that, you know, maybe I am married and, you know, at the same time still releasing content. Maybe my content's got to a wider audience by this point. But who knows? Like, the future's never written, so I don't tend to plan that far ahead. What motivates you to make content? Again, just the people that comment and say that they've enjoyed my content, and knowing the fact that I've made their day through making the content I make, and that there are people that enjoy it, you know, that's what inspires me. It's the people that enjoy it. Each and every one of you, you know, every viewer to me matters to me. Every viewer to me counts for me. And, you know, anybody watching this now, it means the world to me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it's you guys that inspire me. Do you have any inspirations that made you become a YouTuber? Again, just everything I said, you know, the people that enjoy me doing it. I started out doing it because I saw, you know, other people releasing gameplays, and I just fancied giving it a go for myself, and, you know, seeing where it led me. And a few years down the line, here I am. I'm still making content. I don't just do gameplay videos anymore. You know, sometimes I do face cam videos, and I discuss other things. So I've got a few reaction videos as well. I've got a couple more that I want to export from another channel over. So watch this space, because some are heading over to this channel as soon as I can. What are your interests outside of YouTube? Music, Formula 1 racing, travelling, and a good number of other things. Like, I have a great number of interests. I can't list them all because there's too many of them, but I do have quite a few hobbies that I like to engage in. I can't even pronounce that. Cecilius Plays HD asks, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, by the way, asks, who is the GOAT in football, and do you have a favourite club? Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. I hope that answers your question. Southampton are my team. I don't really have a player that I would consider the greatest of all time, but my favourite player, again, he's from the Saints, is James Ward-Prowse. Jason Hart wants to know, what made you decide to support Charles Leclerc in F1? I guess it's just watching him in the junior series. Like, there was a few times in F2 that I thought he really stood out. The first of which was that sprint race in Bahrain, where he changed tyres, dropped to the mid-pack, and in something like 9 laps, still made his way to the front to win. Like, that was incredible to watch. Just from watching him then, I knew that he was a real, genuine talent. And then obviously the time in Baku where he tragically lost his father and turned it round and then went on to win there as well. So I think for me it's his head strength as well as just what he can do behind the wheel and how he is as a person. Like, he's so humble and so lovely as well. So I think that's your answer to your question there. Mateus White, which YouTubers are you watching a lot of, and do you prefer clipped content or live streaming? I'd say Daz Games is the YouTuber I probably watch the most. Other YouTubers include TGF Bro. Josh Rebel is another one. I think his insights into F1 are really brilliant, as well as his insights to the drivers. I really enjoy watching him, so yeah, I'm going to say those two. And obviously Mr. Nightmare, again. So there's a list of some of my YouTubers that I enjoy watching. And I prefer live streaming, because A, it's less editing work, and B, I find it's a more direct way to engage with the audience while making content. Callum asks, have you played Vanguard yet? No, I haven't. I'm very sorry, I haven't got around to playing that. I would like to play it at some point soon, but however, I haven't really got round to it. Amy Harmsworth asks, where is my Toblerone and when are you coming to see me? I promise I'll make a point to come and see you soon, okay? And when I do, I'll make sure I bring you your Toblerone. I haven't forgotten, you are getting your Toblerone. That is a promise. Fat Dave wants to know, do you like rap music and why is your favourite rapper Fat Dave? And by the way, do you still have your Q to Eclipse shirt? I'm sure I have it somewhere tucked deeply inside one of my drawers, but I've moved house twice since I bought that t-shirt. But I just want to give you guys a little bit of insight to that story here. Q to Eclipse are a band I met who were supporting Bury Tomorrow at the time. And honestly, they were the loveliest bunch of guys ever. I ended up chilling with them all night and just randomly bought their t-shirt, and I think I still have it on me. Obviously one of the band members is now doing a rap project and he knows himself as Fat Dave. I've actually listened to a couple of tracks as soon as I saw that comment and I really enjoyed them actually, so go check him out. Go check him out. It's Fat Dave. Mr. Hayes-tastic asks, what's your favourite type of cheese? I don't have one, unfortunately. I'm lactose intolerant. Sorry. Hussman asks, when starting YouTube, did you think you'd grow this big? Best game of all time, and what's future plans for the channel? Okay, I haven't really grown that big, to be honest. Like, I've got 1k subs, and I get a handful of views per video, but I wouldn't say that I've really grown massively, but it's more than I expected when I started out, so I guess in answer to your question, I'd say it's more than I thought I'd get. Best game of all time? I couldn't answer that. I play way too many games to even think of an answer for that one. But I guess the one game that I really played a lot, and I can't wait for the remake of, is Dead Space. And future plans for this channel? Just to get a bigger variety of games on here, as well as bringing back some of the face cam videos, maybe a few reaction to TikTok videos, you know, that kind of thing. David Ryan asks, who is the greatest F1 driver of all time? I don't believe in having that tag in F1, because while a lot of people are going to go, well, statistically it's Lewis Hamilton, Lewis Hamilton's the GOAT, statistics matter, you know nothing. And while statistics do show that, because he has won more championships and race wins than any other driver, and is breaking all the records, I think, personally, each era has its own, like, best driver. Like, there's a great driver in each era. Like, you had Ayrton Senna, the best of his era. Michael Schumacher, the best of his. Fangio, the best of his. Lewis Hamilton is currently the greatest of his. And there'll be another great driver in the next era that will come along and be above and beyond what all the other drivers on the grid are. You know, it comes and goes. Like, I don't believe there is one necessary best of all time driver. Jackie Sevenfold asks, if you could only listen to 5 albums for the rest of your life, what would they be? I've really given this some thought. First off, Oasis, What's the Story, Morning Glory. First album I ever built, but I'm going to feel really old saying this, because when I first bought it, I bought it on cassette, so I feel really old saying that. Second one is Ash, Free All Angels. Fantastic album all the way through. That's just nostalgic pop rock at its finest. Feeder, Comforting Sound. Again, another flawless album that I could just literally sit down and listen to every single track on, you know, without skipping. Fourth album is Dream Theater, Scenes from a Memory. My favourite album of all time. Absolutely fantastic album. I love the concepts behind it. And the final album, it's a little bit heavier than all the others I've mentioned, is Empire of Light by Devil Sold His Soul. Mr. Radiation asks, if there's one thing you'd want to improve in your content, what would it be and why? Every time I release a video, you know, I'm always striving for that bit of improvement. I'm always looking at what could be done better. What could I improve on? Because the way I see it, you know, you're only as good as your last upload. So every time I'm looking for things that I can improve with each and every upload. Right, last question, and that's from Stace, who wants to know, what is your ultimate lifelong dream? My ultimate lifelong dream is to go to every single Formula 1 race on the calendar in the same season. I know that's going to be bloody expensive, and I'm going to be real here. I don't think it's ever going to happen in my lifetime, and I'm gutted about that, because like I said, it's my ultimate lifelong dream, and I'd love to do it, but the reality is it's way too bloody expensive. I don't think I'd be able to do it. Well, thank you so much to everybody who asked questions. Thank you to everybody for watching. Do leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Until the next time I release content, I have been Joe. Thank you for watching. TTFN, guys. Ta-ta for now.